Hi, today my name is Jim Estes and I'm going to be talking about a drill I think is really helpful for learning how to find the bottom of your swing. Simply stated, what you want to do is take and it doesn't really matter what the item is. Here I've got an alignment rod, and what I want you to try to do on a golf ball is to take a swing, and what you're trying to do is put this rod or anything, it can be a piece of plywood, it can really be anything. Give yourself about one club width, the length of a club head. Put that item behind about the width of a club head behind the ball, and what I want you to do is take a swing back and through in slow motion, trying to hit the ground as close to the ball, in front of the ball as possible without hitting the rod, or in this case it could be a piece of wood. So here's an example of what I want you to do. Alright, there, what you saw was, and what you heard was, the golf club making contact even with the ball or slightly in front of the ball. It's absolutely essential that the bottom of the golf swing is in the same place. And in order to do that, you got to keep your spine over the ball. So this drill will get rid of a fat shot. If you keep your weight on your back foot, you're going to hit this, and that'll be an instant feedback knowing, hey, I just made a swing where I didn't transfer my weight and I didn't get my spine over the ball. So once again, what I want you to do, take one slow motion swing back, come back to the ball, find a spot where you want to hit the ground, and then go ahead and make a normal swing at normal speed. Hold your finish, ensuring that, hey, you're making contact with the ground right where the ball is. I think you'll find that to be extremely helpful. My name is Jim Estes, and today I'm going to talk about a drill that I think is extremely important for the swing plane. So what I want you to do is, and this, by the way, is going to give you an instant understanding of exactly the feeling you want to have in the golf swing. Take a club. You can put a rod, alignment rod, in the grip, or I'm sorry, in the butt end of the golf club. Take the golf club, turn it like you're going to hold it, and then what I want you to do is take that club, put it right against your left hip, so you're holding both clubs here. Now you've got an alignment rod on the ground and a golf ball, and what I want you to do, getting into your good posture position, your weight over the arches, feel balanced. The insides of the heels are going to be about the width of your hips. Take a swing back, slow motion, and trace with that alignment rod the target line all the way up. The shaft should be parallel to your target line at the top, and then slowly coming down, trace the line. And do this in slow motion. Right into the impact position. So this is a great feedback tool, visual feedback tool for learning the proper swing plane. Go right to your impact position. I encourage you to do this drill in slow motion, and if you have 5 minutes a day, if you do this drill every day, I guarantee you're going to improve your golf swing. So again, I think you'll find this to be extremely helpful. JimEstesGolf.com if you have any questions. Practice. I would say, you know, cameras are very deceiving. I'm going to teach you something about how to actually video yourself. There's two places you want to video it, 3 feet and 15 feet away. 3 feet high, 15 feet. You can video on the target line or on the hand line. But if you don't video with a still tripod or something, all your data is skewed. If I set the camera too far over here, your hands are going to look different, your backswing is going to look different, everything looks different based on it. So the camera needs to be at 90 degrees. If you look at how I've got my camera set up, this one's at 15 feet, this one's at 13 feet, but there. So it's important, if you're going to, I want you to make sure you use, you know, the right way to you know, just walk at least 13 feet straight back from your hand line.
Yep.
And you can see that camera's right on your hand line. That's why I have the ability to move it for a left-hander. All right, so takeaway-wise, that's a little bit of a, see how your hands work out away from your body?
Mm-hmm.
That's something I think we could change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing I see that gets the club a little bit close.
I mean, that's like the one thing. I mean, I usually kind of get under it. I mean, so I bring it back. Like in video, it looks like I do that kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think, that's a very athletic position where you are.
Yeah.
That club face is a little bit closed, but you know what? I mean, you have very, very fast hips, and you play pretty well with it. The thing I like is this is the backswing plane. It's a little shallow. Whoops, I don't want to use that. I want to use a different line. So what we see with tour players is mostly the shaft is going to be steeper on the backswing than on the downswing, and yours does that. It shallows out, and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what really good players do, and I'll just show you. We could, if my computer decides to work today, we'll just give you Justin Johnson left-handed, because he's got a similar swing, albeit yours isn't as bad as it relates to the shut position, but his hands go out away and he gets that club face closed. I actually like your position better. He's a really good athlete, but yeah, I mean, it's a similar look there. So coming down, he shallows the club out too. You can see how the club gets back on plane. So he goes back steeper, much like you do, and he comes down a little shallower. And that's pretty indicative of all tour players, with the exception of Brendan DeYoung, a couple guys. But you could look at Matsuyama. He's left-handed here. I'm just going to show you. The club will go up through the shoulder, the bottom of the shoulder.
Just drop it down.
Yeah, and then he'll get the club in a little more. The toe will be looking at the ground a little more. I mean, in a perfect world, I don't think that's that shut, to be honest with you. But I want to tweak that a little bit. I want to get it, and we're going to tweak it with the takeaway. I just don't want to see. I don't want this. I'd rather you try to eliminate that altogether. There's a couple drills, and everything I'm saying is being recorded. But stick the ball, stick the butt end of the club right in here, and then just practice turning your belt buckle, your core, and keeping that connected. And that will give you the sensation of keeping the club in front of you. There isn't anybody on tour, with the exception of maybe a couple guys, that get the club way off plane on the takeaway. Most of the time the club stays outside the hands. The shaft's going to stay pointed inward. Your shaft works out right away. Now, like I said, Dustin Johnson plays great with it. But you're in a position where a little bit of a tweak's not going to hurt you. You shallow the club out, and you can see it gets a little bit inside coming down. But this is already way better. You were coming into it out there. You were coming way from the inside here.
Okay.
And so this is already better. Just changing your ball position, moving it up. So for a 6-iron, you want it about off your left pocket, right pocket. Sorry, whatever pocket that is. I'm confused. Yeah. So those are the two things we're going to work on.
Cool. Setting
up, and then getting that takeaway. I'll show you.
Yeah, you got it really pretty.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth, left-handed. He's going to do pretty much what I'm trying to get you to do. A little more on plane going back. Hands stay on the plane. Goes through the shoulder, through the bottom of the shoulder, and he's going to shallow it out just a little bit, which is what you do, and that's what good players do. A little shallower coming down. But you can see, the club doesn't drop way under the plane. So, yeah.
Okay.
Very athletic swing. A lot of speed. Big upside. You can get a lot better. The other good thing is you're very stable with your core. You're pretty strong, because a lot of kids lose the ability to maintain their head position, ducks down. They lose their posture. Their back starts to, get into what we call a C posture at impact. But you don't do that. You maintain your posture really well, and that's really good. That's important. Your head doesn't do a lot of moving. It goes down a little bit, but it doesn't go way down.